So hey everybody, welcome back to the solo fighter leveling guide. This is how you level as solo on a fighter. It can be faster or slower depending on the character that you play, and I'm going to continue off from where we left off, which was in Sschindylryn. Now let's say this, you're out doing quests in Sschindylryn, and then all of a sudden the alarm goes off. It's the fire alarm. You have to get out of the house, or the baby starts crying, or you got to answer the phone, and the phone calls from the tax agency of your local municipality, and they're like, hey, we got to pay your taxes, and you're like, I don't want to pay the taxes, and you're busy and you can't keep doing your quest. So you leave Sschindylryn and you need to get back in. The problem is, to get there, I had to run all the way through the King's Forest, all the way through the Underdark to get to Sschindylryn. But how do you get there without that? I'll show you. Here's the fast way to get to Sschindylryn that I can't take credit for myself. This was shown to me by Ipsum because I had a way that was pretty fast, and this is the faster way. So what you do is, on the right here, there's going to be a door called Sschindylryn. That's a trap. Don't take that. Come to the left here and go to the Underdark. So take this door instead, which might seem confusing, but don't worry, it's not. Then you're going to turn around, click this, and I can't take this to Sschindylryn because I apparently haven't discovered the location. But I went to Sschindylryn. Oh, I think it's because I didn't go by the portal on the front. Well, I'll show you how to unlock it then. I'm not used to only doing part of the quest line and not the whole thing. Hey, we all learn stuff, as we go along. I made a mistake. Also, somebody just died to a Carnage Reaper, so they definitely made a mistake. So, anyway, what you have to do is go up to this portal. It's right here. Eventually, I'll get there. How does the healing feel in the fighter? Pretty good. I haven't really ran any issues with the healing. There we go. So this is the portal. So once you run up to it, then you're all set. I just didn't do that because I never came this way. Anyway, we're going to be going to the west side to the House of Dunrobar. You're supposed to do this section by having a... oh, do I not have a hireling right now? That's probably fine. You're supposed to do this section... or it's much easier to do this when you have Dimension Door. I don't have Dimension Door, so I'm just going to have to fight my way through this entire quest. The fighter way. But yeah, healing feels pretty good. It's very easy to heal yourself on fighter. You just need to make sure you have important defensives. So for me, that is always having access to protection from evil and Death Ward at all times, because Death Ward is very, very, very good. So basically, the easy way to do this quest is you have to apply the Ichor to the Blade Master's sword rack. I'm going to have to apply the Ichor and then run back here. However, the easy way to get this done is to use Dimension Door. So if you have access to Dimension Door, I'll show you where you do that. So you can, like, kind of blast it out right away. Yep, level 11 fighter. Mikhail the Pious has it. Usually I would bring Mikhail the Pious with me. I just kind of forgot about it. So I might as well show how to do that without, without having Dimension Door. My character's pretty tanky. I got a lot of good defensive stats and offensive stats, so it should be okay. But we'll show you how it's done. Anyway, so walk up here, slam through all these doors, and eventually you find it. There's the Weapon Master's rack. So what you would usually do is cast Dimension Door right here. So you just dump Dimension Door, and then click the rack, and then jump through the hole. I can't do that. So instead, I cast Dimension Door, and then I have to walk back and fight my way through all these bad guys. Which, again, not really that big of a deal, because my character is relatively strong. So I can just kind of stun and kill my way through everything in a relatively quick fashion. Also, I like that the Blade Masters of Dunrobar don't really do a whole lot. They just kind of stand around and get killed by me. It's very convenient of them. So thank you. Also, this character did not originally have True Seeing when I got it into Epics, but I have acquired a True Seeing item, which for me is the Raven's Sight. This is very easy to acquire, so if you need True Seeing, you can always get yourself a Raven's Sight in no more than like 25 to 30 minutes. An Epic Raven's Sight, which also has Accuracy, Wisdom, and Will saves on it, all of which are very good. Huh. I really thought this would have, like, all the guys aggroed, but I guess they don't. I just had to fight the guys in the room. No one knows. Anyway, to facilitate the healing on this character, you're going to notice I drink a lot of healing potions. That's because even though I have a ton of hit points, it's just easier to drink the healing potions than anything else. Anyway, so I ring the courtyard bell, and then to make this easy on yourself, you want to come back into this corner. There's monsters that spawn everywhere in this room. A lot of them can be quite dangerous, especially if you're not immune to paralysis like my Warforged here. You're playing as a regular non-paralysis immune character, so you're not an undead, you're not a Warforged. You will, or an elemental like a druid, you're going to find yourself being paralyzed by these drow, where they're going to hit you with a no-save poison, and there's tons of drow that'll do that in this room. Anyway, so basically, I'm just waiting for High Master Teblin to become aggroable, hit him with a throwing dagger, and he's going to be like, ow, my face! Why are you hitting me in the face with a throwing dagger? That's so rude. And I'm going to get assaulted by many, many monsters, but they're all invisible, you can't see them yet. What matters is not that I'm getting attacked by a bunch of monsters, but more so, I'm not getting attacked by every monster. Because I just don't want to deal with everything at the same time. That's really the scary stuff. Protection from Evil prevents you from getting knocked down by command. It makes you immune to the command spell. Now, there's also a treasure chest here. This treasure chest contains a series of weapons of the Drow Weapon Master. I want one, so I'm going to go get it. But by coming out here, I'm going to aggro a bunch of monsters. Also, unfortunately, I did not get a weapon of the Drow Weapon Master, but I wanted one. And then everybody's dead, and I can leave. That's pretty much it. That's how you get this quest done. Nice and simple and easy. I got a weapon here. The reason why the Drow Weapon Master items are very good, it's a small selection of items, but they're basically just weapons that have higher critical threat ranges, and some of them can be really crazy. For example, Quarterstaff is really useful because Quarterstaffs get a lot of extra critical threat range, so it becomes very powerful. The Khopesh is also very good. Longsword, very good. I don't think there's a Bastard Sword, because Bastard Sword isn't a very Drow-like weapon. But, like, you know. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there. Dagger, Longsword, a lot of good stuff. I think there's a Maul, too. Plus, they just generally have good weapon stats on them. So if I had gotten a Bastard Sword, I'd been very happy. But honestly, this character pretty much upgrading my Bastard Sword for a very long time. Maybe if I decide to run Temple of Elemental Evil and then do the Air Wing for some reason to then get the Epic Spinal Tap, I could. But doing the Air Wing to unlock Epic Spinal Tap is very annoying because all of the optionals to get the different weapons that dropped from the previous Temple of Elemental Evils, level 26 weapons, all of which are very, very good, they're actually easy to get, except for air. Water, you just swim to the giant and kill him. Earth, you just go to the middle and fight the dragon. Fire, you just go fight the dragon. Air, you have to do this like puzzle, and air is the worst because there's wisps everywhere, and ugh, I don't want to do it. Also, Runt Jr., welcome back to the stream team for 20 freaking months, dude. Appreciate the support. Hope you're doing well. That's a very grateful of your support for the channel. And also, congrats on getting 20 Divine Orbs today. That's cool. Yeah, I went Bastard Sword for the strike through, and also because it looks cool, right? So, and I think that's important. When you play the game, if you're going to be spending, you know, 10, 20, 30 hours playing a character, you got to make sure your character looks pretty cool, because if you don't, you're going to get tired of playing your character in the way that it looks and feels. So, for me, it's important that my character does look cool as well. So, would a Dwarven War Axe serve my character better? Possibly. Hard to say exactly which one's better or worse. With this character, especially since I have increased critical threat range on Sword Sings, automatic critical strike on Deadly Strike, the Dwarven War Axe is probably a better use case here in terms of just general weaponry. But also, my character looks cool as heck. So that's really important to me.
The last of the captives have been freed.
Got a stream? I know, isn't it crazy? The old live stream, man. Can you stop running away from me, please? And it might be hard to see, but it's okay. I'm killing everybody. Don't worry about it. And then it turns out everyone's dead, and then I can use Second Wind to heal myself back up to full. So I don't really worry about the health going down, because Second Wind is very good. The one downside of Second Wind is it only has 6 charges and doesn't come back, so you need to be mindful of how often you use your charges, but for the most part, it's very, very strong. So that cloak, the cloak that I'm wearing, this is the Cloak of Destiny, and you get this cloak, it was a commemorative item, so you can only get it if you had used the previous Epic Destiny system, and you had maxed out every single Epic Destiny on one character. If you had done that at any point in the past, then you get the cloak added to your account. This morning, thanks in part to that div card. There you go. I'm surprised you went for the Headhunter instead of the Mage Blood, considering you already had one of those cards. I mean, I guess it is more expensive, but And also, I guess there's a variability to the Mage Blood. Because you can get a 2-socket Mage Blood, which is obviously not ideal. I'm trying to imagine spending, you know, what, almost like 180 divs on that card set to then get a 2-socket Corrupted Mage Blood. Or worse, get a nothing, because you can brick your items when you get the corrupted ones. That'd be perfect. Yeah, I've never used a headhunter before. Although I am pretty rich, maybe I could get one. I can easily liquidate my character over like a couple days and get back like 30 divinations. How much is headhunter right now?
In the kitchens, slaves cook and clean under a slave master's watchful eye. The slave master looks you over. An unbroken slave in my kitchen?
Man, the extra damage you get from Blade of Discord, I gotta say, as a melee, it's just so good to have, especially since my character gets a lot of extra tactics DCs for being a fighter. Having just incredible stunning potential. Now here is important, there is a spell word here. I'm immune to paralysis, so even though it deals damage to me, it doesn't paralyze me. If you are not immune to paralysis, when you walk through here, I'm immune to paralysis because I'm a Warforged. But if you're not, when you walk through there, you fail your save and you're paralyzed, and then it keeps exploding and killing you. Very bad for Hardcore League. Make sure you don't fail your save, or you're playing something that is immune to paralysis, like a Warforged or Undead or anything of the like. Headhunter. Yeah, I gotta take a bit of a break from Path of Exile, I think. I got my new Flicker build up to 92 really fast, and then because everything, it just dies instantaneously. It's too easy. And it's eating up too much of my time.
Authoritative voice can be heard.
I'm literally not doing anything else, so.
I don't care if your fingers are bleeding.
I'm like, you know what, maybe I should pump the brakes on this whole Path of Exile thing.
New captives await. Who are you? Couldn't wait to
And then for this one, you just fight the boss. There's like archers and slaves and all sorts of stuff all over the room, but instead I'm just gonna hit this guy and beat him up, and that should work pretty well. There's gonna be people shooting at me, but I don't care too much about that. I'm just gonna hit the guy. Hit the monster. And then when I get low, just use my second wind to heal myself back up to full. There we go. Jim, just got your Forge Fighter at 20, trying to get the 10 Reaper points. I start at 20, trying to get the Reaper XP, or 32. If you start at 20, there's a near 100% chance you're gonna get killed along the way and lose everything. If you have a way to hit incorporeal targets as well as stunning shield, you can take care of one Reaper whenever it spawns. Just hope that there isn't 2 Reapers. Because if you have 2 Reapers, that's a problem. Yeah. You get a superpowered build, it's easy to keep playing. Well, that's just it, right? It's just like the character feels so good, it's hard to like turn it off. It's honestly really hard to turn it off. Is there enough quests at 32 to get the Reaper XP? I haven't done all of the quests, and I'm almost at 600,000. Important note, there are more quests at level 32 than any other level bracket in the game, because every quest since 2015 until now is available as a quest. Every single one. Every expansion, every quest pack, every update has had quests up there. I mean, it also depends on the Reaper difficulty you play on. So if you play on Reaper 1, no, probably not. You'll have to do a lot of repetitions, but presumably you get a group and you play with a little bit more. The hardest part is getting the group going. That's the hard thing. Because if you look at the level bracket and who's actually playing, you can see that there's not as many people on at the level cap. You only have, I guess it's growing with all these extra people. So it depends on who you can actually get to join and run some endgame groups with. I should actually read some of these. I forgot that I actually have to read this. None of these are good. I'm gonna take the trophy, I guess. Get that guild renown. Help out, pump up the guild. I need none of this. All right, Jeneth. Okay, so now I can actually take the left path. As I said, I'm also banking my points, which is why I'm not spending them, because when I get to level 23, I'm going to be taking Intoxicating Presence, which is for +5 melee power. And the Disciple of Material for +5 melee power, and a Healing Sentinel for +5 melee power. Also a bunch of health from all these sources. And the health matters because Second Wind gives me healing based on my percentage of my max health. So the more health I have, the better this works. Most expensive accessory? Well, yeah. Of course, Mage Blood's expensive. You can just have all your flasks to give you immunity to all elemental ailments, minus 50% damage taken from all elements, and like 100% movement speed and like triple crit chance and all sorts of stuff. The new ring? What, the Nimbus? Whatever it's called? All elemental damage chaos?
This is one of the gateways for which Sschindylryn has become known as the City of Portals. It leads to the
I know that
reaches of the Underdark.
I watched some videos of some people using the Nimbus ring
The Drow regularly use such portals
to cast like
turn
elements in
with
all or to cast projectiles in all directions. With a fun ward loop setup. Ward loop seems like it would be fun, but that looks like an expensive build. I think ward loop is more expensive than the build that I'm currently running. But it looks so cool. First elf racial life, and I'm saying doing +8 racial AP for being free auto search. Oh, dude, it's the best. Yeah, the free auto search straight at level 1, 100%. You just walk around, especially if you're like even a couple levels of rogue. On top of that, if you already have 8 racial points, you probably got the extra plus to skills. I mean, I think elf is search actually, so that does help. But yeah. Oh, really? Not that expensive, eh? Still viable? Remember running a melee build a long time ago? Forget what? Yeah, it is. It's just also a little expensive. Oh no. Wait, how'd I get knocked down? I'm immune to knockdowns. What? I literally have an enhancer that makes me immune to knockdown while using a shield. How'd I get knocked down? Wait, what? Wait. How'd I get... Seriously, how did I get knocked down? I'm confused here. I'm so confused. Okay. Yeah, face breakers are viable. It can just be a little bit expensive. Basically, if you want to run face breakers, you need several things. You need Abyssus, the helmet, which is exceedingly cheap because nobody uses it for obvious reasons. So you need Abyssus, very cheap helmet. You need face breakers. You're going to want like a shield either that adds physical damage or a shield that just gives you like a zillion block. So like use Lycosidé for leveling and then something else once you actually get the cap for your counter attacks, because the counter attacks are super strong because they're based off of your fist damage. You need, the expensive part is getting a really good lore weave for your chest because it gives a lot of added physical. And then your rings are going to be expensive. You need you're going to need some very, very good rings to make the whole thing work. Because you need steel rings with added physical, ideally also elemental damage. Because the one hard part is that you get a lot of more damage, but a lot of increased damage.
Thanks for bringing us along for your adventures this year, and here's to the new ones around the corner.
Yo, thanks, Frio. Welcome back to the stream team for 32 months. I appreciate the support. Thank you for tuning in and joining me on these adventures, and I hope you've had a fantastic time. You know, I just try to be entertaining sometimes, try to be knowledgeable sometimes, and I try not to bore people too much about talking about other video games, which I do all the time, sometimes. And so I'm just really grateful that, you know, you want to tune in and you have fun and you enjoy the show that I put on, because, you know what, sometimes it's good and sometimes it's very subpar, so I'm glad that I can at least entertain sometimes. Also, I'm glad that you're so entertained that you decided to give them some subs. So welcome a whole bunch of people to the stream team. Dude, thank you. That's so kind of you. Yeah, amazing. That's like literally 20 subs. That is
Quest
madness,
completed.
Dude. That's so kind of you. Welcome to the stream team, Soulforged, Cellopaid, Hi, Casius, Franklin, Mint, USA, Oh Hey It's Butler, Taunted Soul, Ethereum, Deflated Platypus, Grey Fox, a large otter, the Dantorg, Putzin, Synapse, Jacques, Red, All-Star Casino, oh, Kano, All-Star Kano, I can't read. It's my brain fits in the S there, because if you just put an S there, it's Casino, not Kano. Lerendel, Khalid Abdal, and
Quest
Curly Fryman,
completed.
and Ipara. Welcome all of you to the stream team. Thank you so much, Frio. That is very, very kind of you. I hope you
Quest
enjoyed the stream, had
completed.
yourself a good year, and I'm so excited for what the new year is going to bring. I don't know what that is exactly as of right now. It could be anything. It could even be a bug. But, you know, I'm looking forward to whatever happens, and also continuing to stream throughout the year and the new year and what new stuff we got going on. It's going to be exciting. So thank you very much. I also don't know if you can do the totems. You probably can with the slam totems if you wanted. I think the hard part is figuring out what skill you want to use with the face breakers. Are we doing well? Yo, thanks, Dorn. I'm doing great. I feel fantastic today. It's a beautiful day outside, and by beautiful day I mean it's still goddamn snowing because it's been snowing for the past like
Quest completed.
13 hours. Because why reduce the amount of snow ever for any reason? Just keep going up. Just crank it up to the top. Damn, that's a lot of subs. Again, seriously, dude, thank you. It was very, very kind of you.
Quest completed.
Speaking of Facebreaker, I actually had, that was what I was going to play instead of the Flicker, was a Facebreaker build and go really into it. Then I started doing Flicker, but I think you can still get the job done with the Facebreaker. Like I said, you just need the, oh yeah, you can't use the Quiver anymore. And then I equip gloves and go Hollow Palm instead. The problem with Hollow Palm is that there's no flexibility in the build. So if you pick Hollow Palm, you're basically only playing the same character as everyone else who's playing Hollow Palm. Stack as much dex as possible, which is not impossible to do, but and then go from there. Whereas there's at least some flexibility with the face breakers. That's the other thing that I thought about, because like with the face breakers you at least have access to shields, so you can have some other cool shenanigans going on. Yeah. Oh, then you also found some. Okay, that also helps. Yeah. What weapon am I using? I'm using the Ethereal Bastard Sword. You get it from Keep on the Borderlands. You just have to go out into the Adventure Zone, fight any monsters, and loot a chest, and then you can get an Ethereal Ingot. There's a 1 in 3 chance for the chest to drop it. You can also get a silver one instead if you want. It's also a 1 in 3 chance to drop it into the chest, and then you just put it on.
Now that you've found both
Whirling
magical
Dervish Face
components,
Breakers. You can also do that
Master
too.
can open the portal within the main chamber.
Whirling Dervish is a weapon that goes in your hand, and then when you rampage, it leaves your hand and becomes its own weapon that attacks, and because it's not in your hand anymore, you can use it with face breakers because you kill a couple monsters, the dervishes leave your hands, and then they're just fighting with you when you have rampage. And then your face breakers are activated. The only hard part about that build is activating it. It's also completely useless against all bosses because you can't maintain the rampage. So it's a very niche character, but it's pretty cool. Wait, am I being attacked? No, I'm good. You know, as once the Headhunter build is able to produce currency, yeah. The only problem I have with the Flicker Strike build is that it just doesn't do bosses at all. So I've just been selling all of my invitations, which feels kind of lame because I don't want to sell the invitations. I want to fight them. I want to fight the monsters. As it turns out, selling them is actually better.
Noisily slides into death. The portal entrance is now clear. The Temple of Loth.
Well, yeah, because it gives you your blast the entire time you fight.
Position high atop the gigantic ziggurat.
You're too late to stop my scrying, surface dwellers. Now I will find.
Anyways, there's not a lot of interesting things going on here at this point, especially in this fight. It's just like you fight the monsters that come up. There's 3 phases. First phase is draft, second phase is spiders, third phase is demons coming out of the portal. So
It's the girl.
You know, you just kind of like fight all the monsters that show up. This phase is not too bad. Just make sure you check your protection from evil. The monsters in here will cast Greater Command, and you don't want to get thrown down on the ground because my character has no will saves, so to avoid that, again, just make sure you have your protection of evil potion running. I think it's one of the hardest parts about soloing on a character like this, especially in Hardcore League, is making sure that I'm actually, you know, taking care of myself and not letting myself get knocked down or hit by things that I should be immune to that I just kind of forget to give myself immunity to. That's honestly one of the hardest parts generally about this type of prep, is that you just need to maintain uptime on these things. Since it's 5 minutes, you have so many buffs that go across the screen, especially if you have a bard in your party or like other things. Making sure you actually have every individual buff can be difficult. It's one of the reasons why I've always wanted something along the lines of like either weak auras from World of Warcraft, or there's a add-on called buff bars in the Lord of the Rings, which basically just allows you to segment out certain buffs and effects so you can see them in a different part of your screen. So for example, if I want to make sure I had you know, protection from evil, I could have an icon appear in this like corner here with like with a big red X that would be like, you don't have, you know, protection from evil active. I'm like, all right, I gotta put that on. Just because in the top bar it's just this big mess and it gets lost easily. There is the argument that maybe there's no need for something like that because, well, doesn't that make the game easier when you take out the thought because you have to think about keeping your buffs up? And there is some truth to that. The problem is this buff bar was originally designed when you wouldn't get buffed all the way across the entire part of your screen. You would be able to see all of your buffs. It's just, you know, the bar has expanded and that's not the totality of what you see anymore. So I think something like that would go a long way to helping out you know, people keeping track of their buffs and some of their different effects and stats. But I'd love to see them actually do something like that, but no, I don't think we'll get the ability to segment out certain buffs. One, because there's not a lot of good ways you can make interactive plugins with this game, so it's not like it's something the community can do either. There we go. And then she's dead. I win. Also, as a lasting gift, she cast Divine Punishment on me, so I can't loot this chest for 10 seconds. I do feel punished.
Weakling, you dare.
So Divine Punishment does work.
A high priestess may never beg.
Can't die like this.
Also, she already died. If you kill her before the cutscene happens, because you know the Gorisha is supposed to kill her, but if you kill her, like I did, because I used an execute that took her below her threshold, you know, she does actually die. And then she complains. She's like, I can't die like this, but she's already dead. Like Poison SRS or something? Yeah, Poison SRS looks really good. Chaos. A lot of work to make that. Moon of Fuses. Well, yeah, so here's something, here's an example. So this is an icon, and this icon is just tracks a corner of my screen. So whatever icon is in the corner. So as you can see, the section that's here, or the section that's over here, it's actually just tracking, I think, this, the two-handed fighting. So I can see my cursor going over top of it. Which is not ideal, because things move. So when I drink, let's say, a potion of protection from evil, boom, now it's the horse, now it's the tavern regeneration. There we go. So it's not super helpful, but I'm sure there's a way you could get it to get something to track. Why did I do it? I think it was because Cruiser told me to. He was like, oh, you gotta try it, dude. It's really good. I was like, okay. And then I did. And I thought the idea of playing a claw build was kind of cool, and I never used Hand of Wisdom in action. So I thought, why not do int stacking and give it a shot? All right, now I'm 23. Let's go. So 23 doesn't give anything technically, but it does give me more melee power. I think this also gives health too. No, it's just maximum spell points, but melee power and health and silver bypass and melee power and health and melee power. Boom. So now I got like almost 100 hit points. So that was cool. And just from that level, 21 more melee power. You a Jug? No, I'm a Raider. Raider, baby. Okay, now this is what I wanted. Dodge boots. There we go. I don't really need the feather falling. Yeah. Silver flame of feather falling. This is a really cool item, actually. I just don't need it. I know, melee power good, man. Melee power good. Okay, so this is the character. Paint chips, the raider. Paint chips. And so the idea, I don't know if everything is turned on properly. I've got the frenzy charges turned on. I am leeching. I don't always have rage. I have onslaught. I actually didn't do Uber Lab yet, so I should probably do that. Because I'm kind of an idiot. Okay, so this character is really weird in how it works, but the long and short of it, it's expensive. So I have, a Thread of Hope here to pick up a whole bunch of stuff. And then I have these cluster jewels that give me the extra block, so I have max block chance. And then more cluster jewels that give me mana reservation of skills. Did I not spend the points in the mana reservation of skills? No, that sounds wrong. I definitely did spend this. So yeah, this is supposed to be here. And then I got some more jewels here. I got some more jewels here. And I spent that. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So what I'm missing is a Elegant Hubris. So I'm going to have to add it. Whoops. Is it Elegant Hubris? There we go. And so this is Caspiro. How do I get it to the right number? Seriously, how do I get this to the right number? Actually have it written down. I actually already have it. The jewel. I just don't have the high enough level to put it in yet. Read a text. So the jewel is 84.89. Okay. How do I move? How do I is there a way to set this up so I actually pick the one that I want? Arrow keys? Maybe arrow keys? No, that's too much. Huh. That's such a problem. How can I not just select the jewel? Oh, there's got to be a way to do this. Maybe I can just type in the number. 89480. Oh, interesting. Anyway, basically what it does is it makes it so that I'm going to put it here, and then I have a jewel so I can select from in the instability. And then it makes it so that this one, and this one all change into plus 10% damage per frenzy charge. So I have 8 frenzy charges. That's 240% extra damage for these 3 points, which is pretty sweet. And then the last item that I'm missing is I need one more jewel. There's a jewel that gives minus to all resistances, 80%. And that matters because my chaos resistance is minus 80. I need more minus. Because the idea behind this character is I use Doriani's prototype, which makes it so that nearby enemies have lightning resistance equal to mine. So my lightning resistance being very low means they have lightning resistance equal to mine. And then my armor should be higher than this. I always have all these flasks active. They're always active. So my armor's 112,000-ish. So I need to probably get some more. But then also because I have Aegis Aurora, whenever I block, I get 2% of my armor back as energy shield, which is pretty good. I'm still missing some armor, so I need to get that sorted out. And my gear could be better. Like I have Astramentus instead of an actual good necklace. This is just what I've got in the interim. We'll see. We got lots of stuff going on. 84980. And it's also... Oh, there it is. Okay, so now this is in. Yes. Yes. So there we go. So now I can put that in. So now, it changes everything. So now this one, 10% damage per frenzy charge, 10% damage per frenzy charge, and 10% damage per frenzy charge right here. So 1, 2, and 3. Gives me a little bit more damage. So now with the flicker... Oh, that's just Vol Flicker. Wait, do I not have regular Flicker on here? Oh, here we go. Flicker Strike. Here we go. So there's the Flicker. It's somewhere in there for the damage. Flicker Strike. So I hit for like somewhere around that range, 250,000 per flicker. And because I flicker so many times, apparently it's 3.5 million DPS because I have 13.9 attacks per second. I'm missing a bunch of stuff though. I don't have any of the awakened jewels. I don't have all this stuff. Anyway, it's interesting. It's fun, but it is a very odd character, and it can be not so much stressful to play, but it's just weird how it clears everything so well, and then when I get to a single boss, my character like shuts down entirely. I wish there was a better solution to that problem, but I don't know what it is. Okay, so back to what I was doing. Time to continue on the adventure to go do the Demonweb quest. Now, there actually are a couple tricks to the Demonweb, and I'll show you the kind of the tricks here as we go along. Hi, chat. As a paladin, you know high wisdom equals spells. If I have high wisdom, will I have more spell slots? No, spell slots are determined by your character level. So paladin character level determines how many spell slots you have. There's a chart on the DDO wiki. So if you go into the DDO wiki, there should be a chart there that will tell you what level you get each spell slot at. Paladins get, for example, at their 4th level spells, they get the first slot at 14, the second slot at 15, and the third slot at 19. Which means multiclassing on Paladin loses you a lot of slots really quick. Should probably buy a hireling, huh? Good idea. Can't finish the boss? Yeah, I mean, you could. Just do more damage. Have you found any support gems yet? Because I don't have any. It's stressful. I don't know what to do. If I get one good, I'll give it to you. I thought about the idea of what if we did like a group and we started on Ruthless. All right, Breck, congratulations. You're hired. And we did hardcore Ruthless, and we played as a group. And it's last person standing. Because the fun thing about the Path of Exile Ruthless is that the higher level you get, the worse it is for your character. Or not, the more people you have, the worse it is, because more items don't drop. The same items you drop, so the more people you have, the worse it gets. Remember, so I stick with one class? Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, Wisdom gives you spell points. It doesn't give you extra spell slots. In pen and paper, it would give you more spell slots. Okay, so what you're doing is you're looking for this bridge, basically, between these two rocks. That's how you're going to get an easy path through this place. If you don't see this bridge, turn around and reset the instance, which is what I'm going to be doing until I see that bridge there.
Interesting. It's a little late to try to finish what started back in Eberron.
And back to the Demonweb, reset, and then back to the Demonweb, and go again. It will save a lot of time, and it's worth it, especially if people don't know where they're going in the Demonweb. So if you're leading a group of people, because it might seem like it'll take a long time, it's about a 50-50 chance for it to be there. So you're just hoping for, like, the coin flip. Sometimes you can flip the coin and get 10 tails in a row. Not ideal, but, you know, these things happen. You can just write it off as a statistical anomaly and feel very good about yourself about the fact that you are very unlucky. There you go. So now it's spawned. So you're just going to take it across the bridge here, and it brings you right to the first quest. But first, grab the message. Oh, spiders. I also like to pick up all the messages along the way, just because it's 22, it's 2222 XP. Why not? It's the fastest, easiest XP you're going to get your hands on. So this is the first quest right here. We can just feather fall down to it, but instead, I'm going to come up here and grab this note. I don't really kill a lot of the stuff along the way, but you can if you want. You can also mount up while in the air, so just don't forget you can use that to get around areas pretty quick. Now these quests are level 25, but as I said, I got a lot more melee power. There's some leveling up, so my melee power is over 100 now, which is kind of crazy that I went from like very little melee power to over 100 just by getting to level 23. Absolutely massive. Epics are huge, especially the early epics are huge for melee characters. Alright, so we're going to do the Trial of Might and the Trial of Wits, and I'll show you how to do both of them. The Trial of Might is just fighting monsters. Fighting monsters is relatively easy, so you just attack them, and then they die. So it's pretty straightforward. like so. Also, don't forget to talk to Gruelmyth. I almost always forget to talk to him whenever I do this quest, and it's really silly. Anyway, then I get the Jewel of Might, and then there is a puzzle here. Now, to solve this puzzle, what you're gonna do is you're gonna Alt-Tab, you're gonna go to open up a search engine, and you're gonna type in DDO Shroud Puzzle and hit Enter. When you do so, it's gonna bring you any number of Shroud puzzle solvers. So here is a Shroud puzzle solver, like so. So now I have the Shroud puzzle solver in front of me, and I'm gonna put in the information here. So I go Edit. It looks like this. Solve. And now it tells me I have to press this button, this one, and then this one. Right? So I'm going to now enact that in game. So this one, this one, this one. So this one, this one, this one. Look at that. You can also solve it yourself. My understanding is that there are some places around the world that even teach how to solve this style of puzzle, which is very cool. But I am not so smart. But I can use computer programs that will tell me the answers much, much, much easier. Remember, in the modern day and age, it's not really about how much you know. It's about how much information you have access to. Knowing everything used to be really important back in the day when it was not as easy to get information. So somebody who was very knowledgeable was somebody who had access to all the information just in their mind. But nowadays, there's too much information. You can't hold on to all of it. So what you need is a way to hold on to, or to be able to get to it. Good researching skills is important. And yeah, just keep that in mind. So you might think to yourself, man, I don't know a lot of stuff. I always have to look things up. Yeah, but if you're looking things up, that means you're confirming answers. You're getting close, getting better information, and you can provide other people with good information. So, not a bad thing at all. And light puzzle once upon a time? Yeah, I don't know. I've never had to do this. It's just Shroud solve. So I just plug it into my program on my other monitor, and then it's done. Again, you can actually solve it yourself if you're a smart person. I'm not. You've gotten 3 raw divines, and wait, you gotten 3 raw divines for tier 4 maps? Oh my god. Oh my god. Like, I got 4 divines yesterday, but I also ran like 60 maps yesterday on tier 16s, plus all of the associated like sanctums and what have you. And I didn't get my first one until I just started doing tier 16s. But damn, dude, that's awesome. Enjoying your Charisma Paladin build? The cat is cute. It is. That's why you always pick the kitty cat as your Fate Arc Illusionist pet. Some people don't. That is because they're in fact demons and monsters. You gotta pick the cat. Kitty cat. It's adorable. Alright. And now we edit this one. Alright, and then we're stairs. We walk it down. Stairs. There we go. Not that hard, especially if it starts in a position that is identical on the other side of the axis. That's true. Yeah. There, like I said, there are tricks you can learn to solve it, just like anything else. It's a puzzle, which means there's tricks to solving a puzzle. Like how, you know, Rubik's Cube looks really daunting, but you can learn the tricks to solving the Rubik's Cube. And then at that point, anybody can solve a Rubik's Cube once you know a couple of the telltale patterns. It might take you longer because you don't have practice with it, but you can do it. Whereas, what if you don't want to? What if you just want to use a computer? There's also a route you can get through this quest by just like skipping over most of it, where you kind of just like fly through the air and ignore almost everything along the way, by jumping over walls and stuff. You can also do that route. I'm not really showing how to do that route. Some of you might know, but I'm not really showing it just because, I don't know, running through the quest, not too bad. You get some extra loot and treasure along the way. You get some XP, monster manual stuff. So there is value in actually just running the whole quest. But sometimes you just want to do the quest. Sometimes you don't need to skip through everything. In theory, you can make the argument that because I'm currently using a puzzle solver for completing this quest, that maybe I'm, you know, just kind of doing a skipping through myself, maybe just not physically through the quest, but it's a different type of quest skipping. And there is truth to that, but I don't like to think about that because that implicates negative consequences to my own actions, and no. Denial, that's what I'm all about. Because it reduces the amount of population by a huge amount. Yeah, I can see that. There's a lot of walking. These quests are just big empty hallways.
Mortals, your corpses will make nice meals for my spiders.
Now the final quest is going to be a little bit more complicated because I'm on Hardcore League, but it should be okay. I'm going to be using my hireling very aggressively for it. Because the final quest requires you to sacrifice your own hit points to like a wall, where you have to like give it a percentage of your health. And I don't really want to do that, so I'll be using the hireling for that. However, downside about that is it's a lot of micromanagement, so hopefully things will go well. If the hireling dies, it's okay. There's a shrine, and I can be kind of patient with it. Hey, what's up, Jusha? How are ya? Water. I need some more water. But yeah, so generally when you're running through, especially some of these quests, there's a lot of demons in here. They can be quite dangerous. It's the reason why I'm making sure I maintain the protection from evil, because the Yugoloth that are in here will in fact cast command and lock you down and prevent you from doing anything. How many past lives do I have? 0. This is a first life character and I'm playing on Hardcore League. This is my solo guided playthrough to help other people who don't know how to level by themselves, and I'm just doing a pure fighter. So you can fight this room. This is the skip that I would recommend. You just jump over here, jump over this wall, and jump over this, and you're done. Yeah, I figured for the solo guided playthrough, it would lend it some legitimacy by doing it on hardcore to show that literally anybody can get through the game, even if you're a solo player. It just takes a little bit of know-how. And so this character, even though I've already done all the rewards on hardcore and all the Reaper points and stuff, I didn't add any items or take anything out of my bank. It's only used the items that I've actually physically found. So it's also been like effectively solo self-found starting from nothing. Most people that are watching the video series will have items stored away, whether it's like things banked up, or, you know, items just kind of set aside, even if it's a little bit of platinum, something to buy off the auction house. I remember the early game I had to be very strict with my actual potion purchases because I didn't really have a lot of money and couldn't afford potions.
We have defeated the Yugoloth Guardian of Strength, Malchuf. The north path is clear.
I don't like that I have strength damage. And my guy can't get rid of strength damage because he has renewal, but that he can't use. Oh, that's really funny. And Shield Fighter still going at it? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot the second wind gets rid of stat damage. It's been a little while since I played this character. It was before the holidays. You know, when you have a little bit too much eggnog, you kind of forget some stuff. Anyway, we're just going to beat up Gruul Myth, kick his butt, and then move on. Some of these monsters will take a little bit longer, especially if you're playing like an elemental character. So if you're, especially against demons, so Gruul Myth will take a little bit longer if you're playing as like especially a lightning character, because he's immune. Although sorcerers and artificers and stuff can bypass. I think maybe Stormsinger would probably be, this would be where they would slow down a little bit against this guy. He's not too terribly difficult, but he just has a lot of health and a lot of defenses. For the holidays, they were great. The holidays were good. Yeah, it was nice. So happy to be back, and not spending too much. You know, holidays are nice, but for a temporary period of time. It's nice to also return to normalcy and get back into the regular life. The real holiday is going to be in January. We'll be taking a week off. I've already been prepping videos, so there'll be YouTube videos and other things showing up during that time. So then that way, you won't have to deal with like just no content while I'm gone. There will be things coming out and happening here, so it should be a good time. Okay, pro tip. So, this is how I finish the quest. But I'm being chased by monsters. How do I recall? Just jump and fall. You can turn off your feather falling by using the block key. And by doing this, it puts me back at the beginning. So now, I don't have Dimension Door, but I'm back at the beginning, and I can just leave right away. Don't worry about monsters chasing me or anything. Okay, so now we go to the next quest. The next quest is, fortunately, just east of here. I'm just going to ride around and go this way. And if I just go this way, I will then get to the next quest because it's right next to it. See why it was important to kind of wait for that first web bridge? Well, this is the second web bridge that takes you all the way over. The only hard part is getting to the third quest, but I'll show you the trick to getting to that one too.
I will consume yet another world. And another.
Yes, if you sit caught in the web, you will die.
More
That is true.
worlds. I alone have woven the Demonweb into the grand tapestry of destruction and survival.
And now we're in
that you
quest
see
number 2.
around you.
Come on,
Bask
Demonweb.
in the glory of my works.
Come on, Demonweb. There we go. Beautiful. You said you're playing a ranger? Yes. I've made a Flicker strike character. It was a little expensive, so I'm about 35 divine orbs in the hole on it so far.
You have come to honor
But now I can do maps in about 30 seconds, and it's level 92. So it's been fun. I respect my entire Atlas, so now I got out of Blight and Metamorph, and I respect into Legion and Breach, and it's pretty cool.
Somewhere in here is the Ruins Keep.
I don't know if it's a good idea to spec into Breach, because I haven't gotten anything profitable from it, so I'm not exactly sure why I'm in Breach at the moment. Like, it makes sense because I have the clear speed, so everything blows up, but I also don't know why I need it.
God the orb entrusted him by Loth. Kishnaurak fashioned 3 signs of power.
I didn't make 35 divs. So a bunch of different ways. So Blight was very helpful. Blight is extremely profitable. Just like straight up. Whenever you do it, you'll get divination cards. And the divination cards, sometimes you might get a good one out of it. You probably won't, though. But what you will get is stacked decks. Instead of opening any of the stacked decks that I got, I've just been selling them by the hundreds. So I would just sell stacked decks, like 100 for 200 chaos, whatever it was, and kind of go from there. Because each blight that I was running when I had all the blight passives was giving how much? Like 10 to 15 stacked decks each. Each blighted map was usually about 20-ish stacked decks on top of that. So you're getting a whole bunch of chaos per map. And then you can convert that down as well. You know, just pulling I got one lucky drop, which was I've dropped I think 5 divine orbs just running a ton of maps and a ton of high currency stuff. All my maps I run at 150 quantity and just kind of like sprint through everything and blow everybody up. Metamorph is also pretty good as well for some of the currencies, but also, I've been selling Righteous Fires. So what I do is on my back bar, or like on the weapon swap, I have 6 Righteous Fire gems that I'm leveling, and then I level them up to 20. Then I turn them into 20 quality. Then I level them up to 20 again, and then I sell them. So 20 quality, level 20 Righteous Fires, because they're expensive and people want them. And they might get a 21. I find you lose more money if you actually just sell it. Like if you try to Vol Orb all of them, you lose more money. So, oh right, you have to kill these guys first. But I just let other people take the risk of Vol Orbing them. Does he not have any? Does Breck not have a single heal? Because he has yet to heal himself. Breck, buddy, you gotta do something. Your health is going down. So I've been doing that, and then, yeah, just like running a lot of maps. I got 2 divines out of the Sanctum for beating Sanctum. And then, yeah, it was a lot of Blight League. Pretty much exclusively Blight, honestly. Blight is really profitable. Each blighted map is going to net you about 60 to 70 chaos just for running the thing. It only takes 5 minutes to run. And then you can just do as many as you want. Honestly, if you want some blighted maps, you can have mine. I have an entire stash tab full of them. I have a bunch of extra. This isn't he scammed me? Yeah, of course he did.
The power drains suddenly from the side in one violent jolt. You feel
His character name was Giga Boner of Mage.
The Yugoloth waits for you by the planar door. The Yugoloth agent calls into
It's a good name. I don't know why you would have thought that, you know, he would disagree. Yeah, and he summons necro mages. Summons skeleton mages. He's a skeleton summoning person. Or a necromancer. Or, as some people, the short term of that for that, boner. Easy.
The demon Kishnaurak, champion of law.
Wait, what'd you give him?
Was caught in the great hall. The Gablazio eyes the mercenaries. Why fight against me?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna kill the ads first, because they cast a spell magic and I hate to spell magic. Screw you, Eagleoths. Alright, there we go. Now we just fight this guy. No, Breck, my hireling who didn't even heal himself one time. I think it's because he can't use renewal, because renewal doesn't work anymore. So I think Breck is a bit of a waste of time here. That's true. Let me know when you need that multi-mod, by the way. I have all of them. Suffixes cannot be changed, prefixes cannot be changed. Multi-mod. You gave him the Devouring Diadem? Big mistake. I would have actually given you a Divine Orb for it. Yeah, I have the opposite problem. I've been playing too much. I need to, like, pump the brakes. I'm tempted to just give somebody all of my gear.
Its power no longer binds.
Because if I give somebody all of my gear, then I don't have it, and then therefore I can't play anymore. And it means I'll have to do something else, which might be the play. Because I just find I've been spending too much time playing Path of Exile. It's really hard to turn it off. So. Okay, so now we want to go to the final quest, which is very annoying to get to. How do we get to it? This way. Run straight over here. Which means maybe I'll do like a raffle at some point, or just pick one of you guys and be like, hey, do you want 30 Divine Orbs worth of gear and a whole set? Yeah, Path of Exile is a very, I want to call it addictive, but it can be in the short term, especially if you get lucky or things go well. Because it's a lottery, right? It's like literally a slot machine. Every time you do a map, you might get something really crazy out of it. There's a possibility you might get something really, really good every single time you do something.
Oh, yes. I can see right through your mischief. And just like everyone who has fallen before you,
Yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll do a raffle and then give somebody my wealth. We'll see. Then that way it'll convince me not to play Path of Exile anymore because I have to do something else. Do something more productive with my time. It's fun, and I like the ways in which I can relate with others through the game. It's a good game. I need my hireling back. Oh, good. I can summon him again. Perfect. Alright, Breck, you stay here. The only thing I need Breck for is for the final section. I need him to click on the wall, so I'm going to be hopefully getting him to do that for me. Get out of here. Dretches.
The path ahead abruptly ends, leaving no way.
Makes the influence exalted orbs? No, it does not. Admittedly, I also don't know how to use that website. I found out that the best way to get the helmet that I want is to use just literally spam Screaming Essences of Spite on a Hunter helmet, and 1 in 100 times I get the mods that I want. And that's the best way to do it. And I was like, well, so I spec'd into Essences as well, so I could get all the Essences I needed. Okay, so this is the hard part. There's monsters up here, and they are difficult to get down because they basically will just stay up there, and you have to kill all of them to move. I don't know what happened. I feel like there was a patch that happened semi-recently where monsters refuse to get off of ledges. Like these casters won't move towards me. They'll just stay up there most of the time. Come on down. Come on. One more. A little more. Beautiful. That doesn't look like anything to me.
The depth of the abyss.
Oh, it's yeah, I got it. The ASCII doesn't work as well on my chat program for some reason. But it fits perfectly in Twitch chat, which is where it's supposed to be.
Suddenly appears.
All right, so now I need this bad boy to click on this one.
From behind and high above.
Such folly! What did you hope to find? Your world is bleeding into the Spider Queen's domain. You cannot
sick shape.
stop it. But since you are here, I will try.
I said I don't really want to click on the thing myself, so I'm going to try to avoid doing that entirely and just fighting all the monsters, then having my hireling do it. In the event that the hireling dies, it's not that big of a deal. There's a raise shrine in the room. So you can technically, like, never really fail this section.
As he lowers his head to
I get him to
summon
use
more
this.
opposites, some of your life force fuses into the rift. It
Correct.
grows stiller and more
And I just wait for all the monsters to come to the middle. If you don't wait for the monsters to come to the middle, they will again stay up on these like upper platforms, like all these casters, and it can be really annoying to actually pull them down. Also, my character does so much more damage now. It's very satisfying, but it's also kind of staggering how much more damage I do than the amount of damage I was dealing before. Just a few levels. That's all that matters. Just a few levels.
The barrier has gone down again. It won't stay down for long.
Good job, Rick. Undo the debuff. You can? That works? I had no idea. Wow. Apparently you can jump off the edge. I don't currently plan on testing that, but that is interesting. We're going to see how low his HP goes. No, no, I didn't want you to teleport next to me into the middle of the room, Breck. Thanks. I have no idea why you would even do that. The Driders can be really scary, especially on Reaper mode. So if you're playing this quest on Reaper mode, I've seen many people die to these Driders. Note, that one on Elite difficulty hit me for 200 or 100 and some damage per strike. So on Reaper, that would be closer to 200 damage per strike, and it would be more hitting me than just that. Just stay there, Breck. You just stay over there. Thanks, buddy. Please live. Please live. Live. Be alive. Be alive. Oh, I'm in the quest. I'm alive. Oh. I'm alive. Breck is alive. Oh. Oh my god, I made it back. Lag? No, my whole computer crashed. Almost died. Very close. Hardcore? Yeah. I was down to 600 HP. How do I host Soulstone? My computer crashed. Yeah, that was my Soulstone. I don't know why my Soulstone is there. I don't think I died, but yeah, that was very cool. That would have been a fun end to the video series. I think my video file likely got corrupted from my recording, so I'm probably going to have to re-record all of that.
The rift now appears to be partway
Okay.
stabilized. A little more effort should
Okay.
do the trick.
Okay. That was a lot of panic. I like didn't know what happened. Everything, all of a sudden, everything went silent, and I was like, "What?" And so I freaked out. All my settings reset. Again, my computer hard crashed. I don't know why it happened, but yeah, that was bad. The whole thing. So that's why the stream went down. Oh, I thought I was gonna die, dude. Yep, there it is. There's my soulstone. Very cool. Building tanky. That's what it's for. I don't know why my Breck started being the main object of ire, but he did, and he did a good job of it. This quest is no joke. This is probably the hardest quest of the entire quest line. Because I'm also running out of heat I can do on myself.
As he looks a moment early and sees you healing the rift.
Okay. Woo! I'm like sitting awkwardly on my chair because I just want to get out of this quest. I just want to finish up what I'm working on here and then get out and go back to the or you know, reset everything. Breck, use it. Use the thing. Come on, buddy.
The rift is
Thank you.
stabilized.
All right.
Growls the Dracloth.
Yeah, Breck, you go over there. Thank you. Okay. Okay, we're good. We're good. Sorry, I'm like very panicking right now. That was rough. That was exciting. I love the fact that I almost lost my character there because my game crashed or my entire computer crashed. But that's hardcore for you. Sometimes you're gonna crash and you're gonna die, and sometimes you're gonna crash and you're gonna have 1,600 hit points, and so your character somehow miraculously doesn't die while you reset everything and get back into the game. No blue screen, just blank? No, nothing. Literally nothing. Nothing happened. All of a sudden, all the sound just stopped, and my computer was fully unresponsive. So, I don't know why that has not happened to me with this machine before, so... And there was no diagnostics, nothing, like when I turned the thing back on, I didn't get any errors or anything else like that, so... Terrifying. Like my own soulstone and guild chat? Yeah, I could do that.
Defenses have been weakened. More important,
/G. Oh, I'm not in chat. No, I'm not in chat. I can't link in chat. Because I can't use it. No, the chat bug. How's it going today? Oh, my computer just crashed while I was fighting a boss. I'm alive. Oh. I've been blessed. I've been blessed with living. It's very cool. Anything about the boss? Well, it's a Bebelith. So yeah. Carrying your own soulstone and hardcore. Yeah, I believe this is going to drop when I leave the quest, though. Drops on leaving adventure. There we go. Now I'm in chat. Boom. Custom Robo. Soulstone of Custom Robo. Got it. Okay, good. Thank you, phone. Because that's the other thing. The second I crashed, I did two things. One, I was like, time to reset computer. So I went to reset computer. And two, I grabbed my phone and hopped into Twitch chat. Cool. Used to resurrect a fallen player. I can't click on this. Anyway, so let's exit to Kyber. And, I need to unshit my pants now. God damn it, dude.
Hello streamer man that is 100% alive and not undead at all. Good afternoon.
Oh. I am alive and not dead at all. What's up, horse? Welcome back to Strimtom! Also, off metagamer, welcome back to Strimtom! Thank you for the support. Hope you're doing well. I don't know, I just wailed into the microphone, but I did. Thank you so much for the support, both of you. Hope you're doing well. Off meta, welcome back for 15 months. Not 1 month, not 2 months, but 15 months! Jeff sends his regards. Don't worry, thank you. The young beesies. I appreciate his support of my channel and what I do.
Hey Strim, Brian here.
What's up?
I hear your computer crashed. Do you know what doesn't affect too much progress probably if you die? Next Gen Witcher 3 update. Now instead of just slipping around it when running, it also looks slippery with the layer of butter they shined everything up with. You still got to finish, you know.
I do need to play The Witcher 3 at some point. Again, I just couldn't stand the control. It was my fault for going from Mario Odyssey to The Witcher, to go from a character that controls really well in a game that feels really good to The Witcher, where, like I said, it's like Geralt is wearing shoes that have bars of soap on the bottom of them, so he's just sliding all over the place and is unable to keep himself in one spot for too long. Just like we're going around a corner is like an end game boss. Just like turning the camera to go around a corner, end game boss. All right. Oh, wow. Insightful Wisdom 3 and Erudition. It's kind of cool. I don't need it, but it's kind of cool. It's kind of neat. The rest of this is garbage. I can do Caught in the Web. I'm not doing Caught in the Web. Fighter, hardcore crash proof class. Yeah, apparently. God damn it, dude. Multiple lives at some point? Hardcore 3 had multiple lives, yes. Okay, so I need to do one more quest for the saga, and it's either going to be this dragon quest or the quest over here. I think I can do Don't Drink the Water. I don't think the dragon will kill me. It might. We'll see. There's got to be a better cleric I can get, though. Because the one that I had literally didn't do any healing, and that was kind of silly. Shale. Is Shale a Warforged? I'll try Shale, I guess. Maybe Shale will help me. I just need a cleric hireling or a hireling who will actually cast a single heal spell. I don't need, but it would be nice. Sounds like a blast? Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Is there a battle cleric? No, they just, all their spells were disabled. What's this? They're Warforged? Their name is Shale. No, they're a drow named Shale. All right, and they've got Power Word Kill, Power Word Blind, Power Word Stun.
You can see by a fetid underground stream.
Also, Sigil of Energy Negation. Wow. What? Oh, this is an interesting character. Gonna take Shale for granted? I won't. They're different. Anyway, I'm having fun here. This is a good time. Words and actions, the wizard? Correct. Yeah, he's all about the words. He's not about to get involved in anything. That's very funny. Shale from Dragon Age Origins. I was kind of hoping for a Warforged, because Shale's a type of stone. Warforged are made out of stone. It just made sense to me that Shale would actually be a Warforged. Also, he's attacking with his fists, which is interesting. So he punches. I bought Shale because it said, who firmly maintains art is quicker than the blade, practitioner of high arts. So I thought he would cast spells. I didn't realize that meant he literally wouldn't use a weapon and would run into attack with his fists. I think that's a creative way to handle a problem. It's a way I wouldn't use because it's not a good idea. But Shale, you know, is a wizard, went to wizard school, is it casting spells through the walls? Man, this character's useless. Whatever.
The source of the poison
it's not a cleric, it's a wizard.
You will need to find a way up in order to follow it.
And he's a magus of the, or a magister, not a magus of the eclipse. I don't have any of those. Weird.
The cavern ahead.
What a power word power. If only. Just take you all the way to the top.
Once again.
I'm the most powerful. I cast power word power to increase my strength 100-fold. Hey, glowy eyes. Nice and spooky. I mean, he does do a good amount of damage with Meteor Swarm. So as much as I get upset, I mean, Shale just got 2 kills right there. I can't help him when he starts dying, so I hope Shale brought potions. I mean, after they put in making each hireling uniquely bad, yeah. It is a good question. I don't know how long it takes to like make a new hireling. But if it took a long time, there are some very bad hirelings out there. So if it did take them a while to make this one, I mean, hey, good on them. They knew what they wanted to do, and they did it.
The magical barrier. Something seems wrong with the dryad in this cave. The water must be poisoning its tree.
This is done. But you don't have to kill the trees in here.
Barrier can be seen
The only thing that's dangerous about this quest is the final boss, who does a lot of damage and also is a knockdown. I'm immune to knockdowns because I'm holding a shield. Or so I thought. So again, this is going to be a wait and see sort of scenario. I'm supposed to be immune to knockdowns, so the dragon shouldn't be able to knock me down, and I should be able to just fight it. If it knocks me down, I might be in trouble, so we'll see. This is a dangerous poison breath. I can poison for a long time. Speed Act 2, nice. Did you have to go farm? Because remember, your skill gems don't level up anymore. It takes a lot longer. That's why when you joined me, I went back and helped you out to get some extra levels on my skill gems.
How does a low-level effect like Death Block stop a 9th level power word kill? This would make hardcore more exciting.
Honestly, great question. The old Epic Destiny system? Yes, they are. Well, people complain about the AI in every game because it's always going to be either too good or not good enough. There's never really any in between where the AI is just right. I find that in a lot of cases, either the AI is too good and they do everything perfectly. So in the case of like Final Fantasy 14, you can do some of the dungeons with AI companions, and if you do it, the AI literally never gets hit by anything. They just dodge every attack and they always go to the right place, which means it's entirely on you to win or lose. Which could be good, but also it means that like if you're playing as somebody like a healer, you don't really have to do a whole lot when you're healing because the AI just dodges everything. And it really disappoints you when you get to the real world with real players who don't dodge everything. So, I mean, it depends.
You find yet another Yuan Ti barrier. You must be on the right track.
Man, I really don't like that my computer crashed. Oh well. As long as it doesn't happen again, I guess it's fine. Now we wait. Gotta fight a dragon. Big old dragon. As I said, it's the only dangerous monster in here. If you're on Hardcore League, I don't generally recommend soloing this dungeon. I honestly don't know how hard the dragon is going to be, so I could die here. As a precaution, I'm going to be using the shrine to make sure I have all of my resources up before I fight the dragon, because I don't want to, like, you know, not have access to a tool or an ability. Because I know the Yuan Ti aren't hitting me that hard, but I'm still really nervous about the dragon. I just remember hitting hard. Also, if you have poison resistance, it can help out a lot. I just don't have any of that. I don't think there's anything that I can get for now that gives me poison resistance.
If the AI in FF14 is so good, then why isn't there an AI too? Sussy.
Great question. Why haven't they made AI too? Make better AI. You get knocked down, and suddenly it's bad? Yeah.
An acrid, sickly scent assails you.
Alright, Shale,
The
enjoy
source
your
of
resurrection
poison
shrine.
water must be close.
Okay, he looks like he's resting, but is he resting? You have a very nice tanky trinket? I don't care. Is it immune to AoE effects? Yeah, but that's pretty good. It's better than most of the people you actually play the game with, who stand in everything. We go for, like, high score. We're getting hit by as many spell effects as physically possible.
Dragon has made this cavern his lair. That must be the source of the Yuan Ti's poison.
All right, here we go.
Looks at you.
Dragon fight. Take one. He's hitting me for 150 at hit, which is fun. Oh my god, my hireling is repairing me. No way. Uh-oh. No. Come over here, buddy. I did not expect the Hireling to actually cast Repair. That's amazing. Knockwave bad, or knockdown bad. He's not doing anything, which is good. Thank you, Dragon. I don't know why he decided not to do anything, but that was very good of him to do so. I don't want to put myself... If I get even close to half, I'm going to get rid of that. Ugh. Stop knocking me back, you bastard. Oh. Cool. Not as hard as I thought it was going to be. I'm also shocked that this guy healed me. He just cast Repair on me. It was very cool. Drink a poison potion? I don't have a poison potion. Generally not something you need to carry as Warforged.
Here. Wait. Damn it. I fucked it up. Oh well. Maybe next month.
Hey, Bobby. Welcome back to the stream team. Appreciate it. It's been a fantastic day. Glad to have you here. Hope you're doing super well. Oh, second wind clears it. Amazing. It does. But yeah, glad to have you here. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate the support. Yeah, man. Friggin' 22 months. It's a long time. It's actually a really long time. Yeah, and the Hireling survived too. It's a double whammy of shock and awe. Anything that prevents knockdown that is above and beyond cannot be knocked down. Yeah, I think because I have cannot be knocked down. It says most forms of being knocked down. I think the second one that I need to get is Last Hope. That gives another most forms of knockdown. I think that's really the trick here, is getting both of those. What do I need? I can get 10 amp here, or I can just get rain for extra damage when I Vorpal people. And I Vorpal people pretty regularly. So I'm going to take the extra damage when I Vorpal people. That sounds good. And have them heal you inefficiently? No, because the epic hirelings cast epic spells, but their epic spells don't work anymore. Because they changed epic destinies. They don't work. So I would do that, but I can't do that. Now, one quest I didn't do is Belly of the Beast. I just don't like doing Belly of the Beast. I don't enjoy that quest, so I'm not going to do it. Instead, I'm going to talk to Lady Azana Winter. She's going to tell me, hey, you didn't do Belly of the Beast. And I'm going to go, yeah, but what if I didn't want to? Because I can skip for free. And she says, oh, that's actually kind of cool, you know? So then I can get the true elitist reward. So then I get my 134,000 XP. Yeah. So the ones that are described as exalted angels don't properly work. And I talked to Gisela, and Gisela's like, hey, do you want your reward? And I'm like, yeah, I do want my reward. Look at all that experience points I just gained. It's fun. Had to get your eyes dilated today. Everything is blurry and bright. Yeah, you go to the doctor or the ophthalmologist, and they're like, hey, put these eye drops in, and I'm going to make you blind for the rest of the day, but we'll be able to look into your eyes. Yes, there's also a melee Shirati hire. Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. Oh, video games, dude. Yeah, where is he? Where's that guy? Oh, it's so funny. If you've never seen this one, he's amazing. Yeah, this Ranger Shirati Champion, Tarlov Snow Track. This is a melee hireling. It does not use a bow. But it's a Shirati Champion, and Shirati Champion only works with ranged weapons. It's amazing. Yeah, definitely would recommend. Great character, great design, just all around perfect. What you want to get to is Garrett the Sainted. Garrett is fantastic. Garrett works really well. Erethia works well. Bulwark works well, and so does Albereth. So these four work well because they're not this other nonsense. But that's funny. Data lag on hardcore, so I'm just playing on Argo now. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, dude. That sucks. Yeah, I recently just crashed. That's why my stream is at a short duration, because I just crashed while I was mid-quest, and it was very terrifying. Fortunately, I was able to make it back. And I'm going to be doing some more quests, so yeah, let's go. More adventures. This adventure really wants you to have elemental resistance. In fact, all of the Druid Deep quests really want you to have elemental resistance. As long as you have elemental resistance and magic missile immunity, they're not hard. If you don't have elemental resistance and magic missile immunity, you're in for a very long adventure. You're just going to get hit with constant acid blasts and magic missiles and chain lightnings. Melee doesn't really hurt that bad, but everything else does. Just keep that in mind. Oh, right. The Primal Mantle works on hirelings. I forgot about that. Hey, even Shale's getting some kills here. Good job, buddy.
This wizard has taken ill, just like the other patients. Magical might.
Just beat this guy up. Can I stun it? Oh, I can. Stunning shield. Let's go. What? No! I used my execute, and the hireling drained levels from this guy. So as a result, the level drain caused its health to go down, its total health, so I didn't get the execute. Very annoying. I mean, you know, Enervation's a good spell. I'm happy that the hireling uses Enervation, but also very annoying. Do spinner. The game just stopped. You came back, you're dead. 26 an hour ago and having a blast. I mean, that's good. Sucks though. Especially dying in spinner. Yeah, I did Spinner of Shadows on hard mode just because I was really worried about doing it solo. Which is not really that big of a deal. Because the only quest I was actually worried about. I think every other quest is going to be perfectly fine. But just that one. I was really worried about, you know, getting overwhelmed by Hezru. Or the Spinner of Shadows poison getting on me and I'd be too far away to actually do anything about it. Alright, now the hardest boss fight, Michael Jarvan. Why? Because he just has 47,000 hit points. It just takes a while. Break off to kill the wisps. Also, my guy's gonna get killed. Michael Jarvan has random aggro, so you can't actually hold on to him. The only way you can is using the ability out of Unyielding Sentinel. That's a forced taunt with the shield throw. Unfortunately, I don't have that ability, so he's just gonna kill my hireling and then finally fight me. Nope, he's gonna keep fighting the hireling. I mean, sure. I also want to kill the hireling, I guess.
Did you say you're fighting Michael Jordan?
Yes. I am fighting Michael Jordan. You know, famous Space Jam actor Michael Jordan. Just because he was killing stuff and proccing 3k damage. Yeah, it's a cool effect. It's actually not that bad. It really amps up the damage of some of your hirelings.
To the quarantine area. The quarantine area smells even. Perrin Uth appears. The infection is far more advanced, and as a result,
You're wondering why I'm not healing? It's because I'm just going to use my second wind when I get like lower. I don't want to use it right away. Use it too early and then I can't use it. I'm gonna run out. I'm very conservative with these effects, as you can see. I could probably stand to use them more aggressively. I'm gonna go fight all these ads here. I just want to get rid of the primal wisps. They're the most dangerous stuff in these rooms. So getting rid of the wisps as soon as possible is important to me. And what's 30% of 50? 15,000? Now we can go execute. Heal myself back up to full. And get him dead. I'm very happy I can see the health bars on these things. Important note, you can only see the health bars if you kill a lot of these creatures. I played a very, very large amount of Hardcore League. So for me, it's very easy to see the health bars on all these things. But you might not be able to. It just depends. But I've spent enough time on Hardcore League that I can now see through the health bars of, like, humans, plants, and a bunch of other monsters. Hey, what's up, Blue? How are ya? Hope you had a nice Christmas, you and your family. I still got the tree up. The tree's going to be up for a little while because I feel like it adds something to the room and to the space. So I'm just going to be leaving it there. And I have no reason to get rid of it. At least not right now.
Hey Strim,
Hey.
Shale here. I'm not
Yo.
your buddy pal Maj Shitters.
Shale, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be punching the giant root monsters. Yeah. Get it down and replace it with one of those faux palm trees. It's not a bad idea. I'm definitely going to leave it up until I go on vacation. So I'll be leaving the tree up, and then I'll probably put some type of decoration in the background for when I return. A faux palm tree would make sense for the fact that I'm going to be going on a tropical vacation soon. Tropical vacation. Which I'm very excited about. It's going to be nice. Relax, chill, have a good time. I'm going to be doing a lot of writing and reading. My plan is to bring a couple books I want to read, and then also I want to write an entire D&D campaign. So storylines and places people, do a lot of drawing. I'm gonna bring some sketch paper with me so I can draw out like a bunch of maps and stuff. I find it's easier to do by hand and then like scan it into a computer. That's what I'm gonna be doing.
Defeating his fellow defenders has drawn the woodwork's iron.
Sunfest? It will be like a real Sunfest. There's gonna be sun, there's gonna be a fest, there's gonna be mimosas. Have you thought about writing a questline for DDO? Writing a questline for DDO would involve doing work. And I don't want to do unpaid labor. I would be down to write a questline and build a questline for DDO if the developers wanted me to do so and wanted to pay me for it. That sounds cool.
A door slammed shut. Was that a human form passing through?
Yeah, right. I already have several quest lines that I've thought of for Dungeons and Dragons Online that would be kind of cool. I just don't want to talk about it because it's mine. It's my proprietary information.
Deeper into the house, friend or foe.
I think we should normalize leaving the tree up all year. Well, yeah, exactly. I think that having just some green foliage in the house just looks nice. You know, it just keeps out the bad thoughts that you get during wintertime when it gets dark in the afternoon. And you're just sitting in the dark all day and all night. You're just like stuck in my house. Snow everywhere.
Something rustles in the deep foliage of the room.
I'm actually killing this really fast. Way faster than I would have expected. I get the thing.
Defeating the other
Yeah, I got the woodwode. Damn, dude. I've never done it this fast on a fighter before. Very cool. The reason why I'm able to do it so quickly and kill these monsters quickly is because I have access to the sonic damage from Fatesinger. Fatesinger, good. Would recommend.
now has one.
Do you have a theme setting in mind? You want to start fresh? So it depends. I have two ideas in mind. Idea A is continuation of a campaign I was running like several years ago before the pandemic with some of my friends. It was a good campaign. I had 10 players, so it was a little overwhelming, and I didn't know exactly where to go with the story. I had some ideas for it, but I didn't have like a fully fleshed out. It would basically involve them going to like a mysterious island that appeared off of the coast. So like, basically the world was basically ending. There was a giant like giga space monster that was like flying over the planet that was going to destroy everything. Is the best way I can describe it. So like think about, you know, your Lovecraftian cosmic horror, just like a giant space monster that is so big and so gigantic and so huge, and also unfathomable in terms of the size and the description of it, that it basically just destroys everything in its path as it moves. Stars, planets, doesn't matter. And it was coming the direction through space. And so the main campaign was dealing with the fact that not quickly, but the planet that they were on was having the negative impact of this thing getting closer. So people were like going insane and having all sorts of, and then, you know, there are all sorts of issues with like the local governments and stuff. And anyway, they ended up solving the problem by effectively doing the switcheroo, where they activated like this ancient technology that was built from a long time ago to both reverse time and reposition the world. So they reversed time and repositioned the planet so it was in a different part of the universe, so it wouldn't be in the path of this giant monster, and it would basically protect everybody. Cool, great, neat idea. Because the world was over. Everything had gone to shit. They could have done things faster, but they didn't want to do things faster. So things went at a, because every time I was like, hey, you guys should do this, because this is something that's going to happen. They're like, no, we're going to go over here. We're going to do this thing. And so, which is perfectly fine. I'm totally down with that. I just wanted to have things like progress as they were. Like the consequences were still going to happen. Ignore my direction. Foolish mortals, you will feel the consequences of your actions. And so, so because they, you know, didn't really heed the warnings, the world started going to shit, and then it did entirely get destroyed, basically. So when they turned back time and everything was fixed, they basically like walked out of this room into this castle, and it was like the first session all over again. And then, except the circumstances were different, as opposed to the way that the whole thing started is that the campaign, the way that the players got involved is that there was a castle, and it was basically built on like an ancient kingdom, which is why these drow elves had all this incredible technology, and well, not technology, but this like farly advanced or like very far advanced magic, was because it was built on top of ancient civilization. The problem is no one's allowed to go into the ancient civilization because it's very, very dangerous. So the like effectively the city state is on top of this underground civilization that no one's allowed to go into. However, the aristocrats in power needed money, and so they decided to effectively make a kind of like an adventuring spot where people can come. You pay a fee up front, and then after paying the fee, you're then allowed to explore the depths. So they would basically lead you down an underground corridor and then be like, okay, here you go. Here's your spot that you paid for. And so you'd be put together, which is how the entire group got together. And then when you left, they would do an inspection, and then you'd have to split up. Half of whatever you get goes to the state, and the other half you would get to keep for yourself. And so that's how it started. And effectively, when they went down, they found a bunch of really bad stuff because it's horrible. Most people didn't make it back. Almost everybody died. They just don't tell you that because it's really dangerous, which is why they use like these magical seals to like seal off the place. And so when they came back, it was the same thing. The parade is going on, and there's all these people lining up and getting ready and signing up and stuff. There's adventurers everywhere, and they're like, oh, good, it's back to normal. Except it wasn't normal. The world was slightly different, and they don't know how it's different, other than the fact that instead of going underneath the city, it was an expedition to a new island that had appeared, and that overnight, seemingly, a new island had shown up off of the coast that is like an entire continent, basically. So it's not an island, it's like a giant mega island, as the size of the continent that they were on. And they were taking expeditions to go explore this island. The problem was, as part of each of the character stories, the way that I had set it up is that, as opposed to people picking their class, the way that the campaign was set up is I wrote a story. And they picked their character based on the story. So it was a legend of a heroic figure or a legendary figure. Good or bad, it was the legend of this person. And so they read the legend, and then that's how they decided what their class was based on the legend that they thought was the most interesting. And then after doing so, the reason why I had them read the legend is because each of their characters was the reincarnation of that legendary figure. The difference is that while they might be the reincarnation of that legendary figure, because legendary figures are just that, they're legends, they're shrouded in mystery. No one knows the real result of who these people are. They might think they find out that they are the reincarnation of like a great hero. They might find out that the great hero was actually not a hero at all. It was a terrible warlord, but history wasn't written down properly. And so, because they're the reincarnation, they gain great power based on the character of which they're supposed to embody. But they then have to make the decision of themselves, because they have their own character and personality. Do they want to follow down the same path of these ancient figures that they learn more about as they went through the campaign? It was a cool idea. And so, one of the problems is that the humans on the island, or like the humans in the world, aren't actually from the world. They're from somewhere else. So there's like elves and dwarves and halflings and what have you. But there's no humans. The humans showed up effectively just like they just blinked in out of nowhere. And so they basically became like these interdimensional like travelers. And no one knows how they got there, including some of the humans, except for the leader, who basically, set up like a city for them and died like a hero. And so the paladin is the reincarnation of that character, of that human who led all the humans away from or like to the new world. The thing is, what were they running away from? Basically, they had invented teleportation. Not invented, but like they developed teleportation magic. And they were like, this is amazing. And so they opened portals to other places. And they were like, this is amazing. And this is the best. Except they opened one portal to a very bad place. And when they opened the portal, they couldn't close it. And things started coming through the portal. Until eventually there were too many things, and the planet was becoming overrun. And they couldn't escape. Almost everybody died. And so they used the portaling ability to basically escape, and then seal it shut, so that way they couldn't be followed. Which is cool. The continent that showed up, that they're like, oh, they're going to go explore this new continent, is the original world where the humans came from. That's infested with these horrible monsters that were too powerful for the entire collective human race to deal with, even with their like incredible magics and at the peak of their civilization. But nobody knows what it is, except for the one character in the party, the paladin, because they have memories of having escaped that place from their past life. So everyone's like, yeah, it's cool. We'll just go check out this island. Maybe there's some new adventure and mystery. And that was going to be the continuation of the campaign. So I would have to actually like finish out and write all of that and get that going. That's option A. Option B is I had the idea for a campaign in which I need to really structure the world and the civilization. But imagine a world. There's magic. However, when you think about magic and how people come to get magic in like, a lot of these fantasy worlds, they start with the little stuff, right? So they start with, they levitate something, or they like create a flame, or like you look at the basic cantrips. They're all really, really simple magics. So I thought about this idea. What if you had a world where, as opposed to it being the simple magics is the origin of magic, instead it's the more complicated magic. The first magical spell ever discovered is Raise Dead. So because Raise Dead is the first spell discovered, because that's what people wanted to do, they wanted to use magic to bring people back from the dead, they found ways to do it really easily, to make it incredibly efficient to raise the dead. So raising the dead is super simple. It's like, anybody can do it. The first level magic user, it's like one of the first spells that you learn is Raise Dead. So as a result, how does the entirety of society shape around the idea that people die from like old age and natural causes, because everyone has a lifespan, so not everybody lives forever. But like, how does society change based on the fact that death is not final? So imagine you have a fight at there's like a bar fight that breaks out. It's like a brawl. Usually it's people like fist fighting, but you can have people pull knives on each other, and then everyone just gets raised afterwards because it's really easy. It's not something that is like a big consequence. And how would that affect the entirety of society that goes underneath all of that? So I thought about that and how that would work. I need to write out, the world and try to figure out how the world would actually react to all of these things. Because, like, would murder even be a crime at that point? If, like, you can kill somebody and then you can just get resurrected, is that even a big deal? And so I would take the time to write that out during the week that I would need. Also, there's a lot of bears here. I'm trying to be really careful because if I get knocked down, I'm dead. For the new player trying to start DDO and getting confused, I like to remove myself if I choose the wrong spells and stats of the character creator.
And dig a bunch of holes, I'll
answer your question in a second.
Super machine or two.
I'm just in the middle of talking about
something.
something.
I might start when the ground isn't frozen anymore. And just put a bunch of stones and dirt in front of the portal. Easy. Or put a wood chipper in front of the portal.
Also not a bad idea, getting a wood chipper and going in front of the portal. Okay, so will you cripple yourself if you pick the wrong stats and spells? Depending on your character, maybe. But it's important to note that, one, Dungeons & Dragons Online is really easy to make a new character, so if you end up making the wrong one, don't worry about it, because you can always make a new character. Also, there's a process called reincarnation, where you can reset all your stats, so it's, again, not that big of a deal. And two, everybody makes mistakes, including myself, who's been playing this game for, 17 years. So even at that point, you might make a mistake, but everything is fixable. Nothing is really permanent in this game. There's always a way to, change up your character stats and stuff in the future. If you have questions about, maybe you want to ask if some of the things that you've, or the decisions you're making are good or bad, people can help you with that. Like, for example, I have several YouTube videos about like the basics of certain classes, and one of them is Wizard. And I try to impress upon the fact that Wizard intelligence is your most important stat. That's how you memorize your spells. That's how you cast your spells, intelligence. And I had somebody comment on my video saying that they loved the video, they learned a lot, but they couldn't cast spells in their Wizard, and they couldn't figure out why, because they were level 3, and every time they tried to cast a spell, it said intelligence too low. Because they picked Wizard, and they said they watched the video, and they didn't put any points into the intelligence stat, so they couldn't cast spells. I was kind of confused, but I was like, hey, by the way, you need intelligence. And they're like, oh, I didn't know that. It was just weird because they said, I loved the video, thank you, and then talked about that. It was very confusing. But sometimes you just don't know. But it's, again, it's fixable stuff. It's all fixable. All fixable. What feat am I taking? I don't remember. Load that up. So it's like Mass Effect, but instead of technology, it's magic. Well, if your Mass Effect is transportation technology, whereas I'm talking about resurrection. So it's like Mass Effect in the sense that there are a lot of races, but I really can't draw a single parallel between the idea of the world that I want to write and Mass Effect. All right, because I'm a construct, I'm taking the feat Construct Exemplar. Maybe, oh, there it is. Construct Exemplar. 20 ramp, 10 MRR. Pretty good. The social norm that families would turn their dead family into a zombie and form labor. Yep, that's also the concept behind Isle of Dread. That's how Isle of Dread works as well. Okay, so I should have... I have the Stoneheart, which has Charisma, Vitality, Protection, Resistance on it, which is honestly not even that bad. But I think I need the Fortification, right? I have Sheltering, 24. I think I have Sheltering Boots already, so I don't really need that. Hardy 10. I need that. Oh, since I have this belt on, I should be able to wear new necklace. I don't need any of the stats from it. So I can wear spell saves natural armor, because I have that already. I think I had a con necklace in here. Con 10, yeah. Oh, Hardy Ring 10. Okay, that's what I want. So this is the Hardy Ring 10. So I'm going to replace this ring. And then I can wear the necklace. Deathlock Fortification. Spell saves and natural armor 9, which is pretty good. More natural armor and spell saves is good. I'll take that. Perfect. Now, humans found something way beyond them in Mass Effect. That's how they met the other races. Yeah, but the idea is not finding something way beyond them. It is the idea that it's really simple, right? So, like, in Mass Effect, the humans, or, like, the people that exist can't build mass relays. It's like it's a new tech that they can't understand, but they can use it. So they can build ships that can use the effects of the mass relays. And I'm describing a civilization in which, you know, the people understand how to cast the spells, and it's very simple and straightforward. So it's not like you can't manipulate it. Everybody can manipulate it because it's not that hard. It's a bit of a different way to come at the problem. I understand what you're saying, but I personally don't see the parallel between what I am saying and what you're saying. Because again, it's not about like they find something and then that kickstarts the society. It's that's just happens to be the baseline for magic. Is that I'm just taking what we use as a conventional pyramid of like holy magic, where resurrection would be at the top of holy magic in the tech tree. And I'm saying, what if in a world the top of holy magic was actually at the bottom? Let's just do the old switcheroo. Sorcerer's fast casting does not work on spell-like abilities. That is correct. I need more wands of shield before I keep doing quests. But before I go, I'm gonna go get my key to the city. Wizard with no int, but still an illusionist? You can. Oh, you wanted to... Yeah, you can't cast Fate Arc Illusionist at double speed with Sorcerer. Getting philosophical about magic? No, I was saying that I have 2 ideas for a campaign that I want to write, and I'm going on vacation soon, so I kind of want to write them. And one of them is a world in which the first magical spell ever discovered or invented, whatever you want to describe it as, is Resurrection. So it's easy for everyone to do. Nearly anybody can learn it with a little bit of like time invested, and how that would affect the entire world, and then set a campaign in somewhere like that. Because like I said, it makes sense for us to put Resurrection at the top of the pyramid, because death is pretty final, so being able to fix that is very difficult to do. Easier to mend the living than it is to fix the dead. But what if there was just, you know, it were very easy to do? How would that change the entire world, and how would you design a game around that? How'd you make the world fit into that? That's what I was thinking. That's the idea. Will college dorm students just starve to death every day in res because it's cheaper than eating? Yeah, honestly. A wizard? A wisdom wizard? Liches will be relegated to the unemployment line? Well, you don't need to resurrect like an undead army. Who knows? Maybe undead are like extremely outlawed, because resurrecting somebody as undead is a very final death. Because when somebody's been resurrected as undead, they can't be resurrected anymore. So maybe it's something along the lines where like resurrecting somebody as undead is in fact like a major crime, because it's an extremely finite or final form of death. Just 9th level spells? Yeah. And then they learned to do it, so that was like the foundation of magic. Because life would be so cheap? Possibly. And again, that's why I would need to expand out. I need to write out the whole universe and flesh out all of the people in the societies and how the course in which society would take and how different it would look. Yeah. Again, it's all hypothetical, and we're just, just thinking about it. I'm just thinking out loud. But that's something I've thought about doing. I have too many different ideas. Too many campaign ideas.
You are near to Druids Deep. The dying Druids
don't have the main stat to cast it. You can't cast Meteor Swarm if your intelligence is not at least 19.
to find the way.
This with the test campaign? Yeah, or noodling on it a bunch with some Mai Tais on the beach. That's the goal. That's what I'm going to be doing. We're noodling on it a bunch.
Hello Eltrim, Brian here.
What's up?
I love your stream and have been watching it for the last month or so, but I just threw my headphones across your PC and jumped out of your apartment before you noticed. What exactly are you doing, and how does it relate to the names of your characters? Paint chips and I eat crayons, yay in PoE. I'm looking forward to your response.
So, the reason why I named my character...
after you do the things in your character names. Rip Bozo again.
Yeah, so if you're wondering why I named my... So the first character I named I Eat Crayons was because I couldn't think of a character to play, so I just decided to get face breakers and make a character, and I assumed it was going to be stupid and bad. And then I decided, wait, what if I played Flicker Strike? Because Flicker Strike is really expensive. It requires multiple Divine Orbs. And I was like, well, if I start with this premise, it's going to be expensive and costly to actually get it to work. So this is a bad idea. So since I knew it was a bad idea going in, I named it Paint Chips. Because if you ever find yourself eating paint chips and they're delicious and sweet, you're dying. So go fix that. Go to a doctor, please. Thank you. Because if there's a sweet taste to the paint chips on the walls, because there's lead paint in your house, which has been outlawed in many places for a long time, but some old houses might have that. It's got to be careful. Join it? No, I have my own guild. And the thought that fields of magic would revolve around time magic, because even if you resurrect somebody's 100 fields, they would die immediately. Possibly, yeah. That you might have to have a group of magic or like a field of magic around like extending people's life. Because then you actually do have a true death. You get lucky, you get higher tier maps, get rid of tier 3, you're kind of worried you'll just run out. Are you using an alchemy orb on every single map? You enchant your maps, which increases the item quantity of... Yeah, if you just run them as white maps, you're not going to get enough. You need preview footage of Diablo 4? So I haven't, because, again, I just, like... I already drink or breathe in a lot of copium for a lot of different things. There are too many people that think that Diablo 4 is going to be a game that is, in any capacity, not the same as Diablo Immortal. That it's not going to be a absolutely microtransaction-riddled, pay-to-win mania that is very similar to Diablo 3, just darker in color. Like, there's going to be some more shadows, and there's going to be more blood, and but you're still going to have to buy your season pass, and there's going to be all the advancement tokens you can buy, and you're going to have to roll for your gear, but you're going to be able to pay to like roll past your gear, because they made a lot of money off of Diablo Immortal, and there's no reason for them to not also make the same amount of money off of Diablo 4. I know, I'm just saying that that's propaganda. Like, when you see something where it's like, wow, this game actually looks kind of good, yeah, it's because it's propaganda.
Immortal was the monetization alpha test.
Exactly. Doing consistent on new game callouts. That's because, like, I'm mildly cynical, and I've just been playing games for a long time. So it's not that I don't think that these games are going to be good. Like, I'm sure Diablo 4 will be a fun video game on some level, but it's also going to be a very aggressively monetized platform, and probably the most aggressively monetized action RPG of all time. And if you expect anything else, you have to have been living under a rock. And the thing is, you could make the argument that Path of Exile is also aggressively monetized. Except the game is free. The things that you do buy are the stash tabs, and you can buy all of the stash tabs for like $60. And you might be like, yeah, but that's a lot of money to ask for a free game. First of all, I play DDO, okay? DDO asks you to spend $100 a year for your sub, plus all of the extra expansions they release, which is way more expensive than that. Is that okay? No, but Path of Exile is cheaper than that. And two, please don't go into traps. Dodge traps, bear traps. No! There are extremely expensive parts of Path of Exile, like you can buy the new $480 supporter pack. And you might think to yourself, $480 supporter pack, that's really expensive. True, it's also entirely cosmetic and not necessary to your game experience. You don't need it. It's just visual. It's all visual, dude. And besides, if I didn't buy it, I didn't spend the $480. Instead, I go to Mr. Dorak's hideout because he has the $480 hideout. And it looks very cool. You can play chess in the hideout. How fun is that? It's really cool. Yeah, it's very cool. Like, is it worth the money? It is very cool, but I know I'm not going to spend the money myself, but you also don't have to. Like, I haven't spent any money on Path of Exile in over a year, and yet I get access to all of the content without having to spend any money. And Diablo 4 is not going to be like that. And DDO isn't like that. So that's why I think that, like, again, the idea that there's going to be, when it comes to Diablo 4, not that it's going to be a bad game in terms of like, it's not going to be fun or it's not going to be interesting, but it is going to be probably one of, if not the most pay-to-win product yet created by man. At least in the West. Probably. I haven't finished Celesta, but the gameplay is really fun. I like the gameplay. The mobile business model and not be soundly rejected has been attempted many times before. Yeah, except until you look at video game like, I don't know, Diablo Immortal, which how many people played on PC and how many people streamed it and spent thousands of dollars on it?
past that bard.
Wait,
and
did
now
Wizards of the
you-
Coast actually unveil a battle pass?
I don't know where your precious nobleman is. He can't have his staff back.
Can you cheat at
anyway.
chess? I can, yeah.
I've decided.
Not everybody can, but I can.
But you have no place in my forest. You will die. Feed my flowers.
Anyway, so and like I just can't be excited about Diablo 4. Like, I try to be real with my opinions and say what I feel about things. So like you might be like, yeah, but you know, you're a Diablo 2 like apologist. No, I'm not. When people ask me my opinion when I've streamed it and said it, they've been like, oh, should I play this game? No, probably not. Diablo 2 is an old video game. I'm playing it because I'm filled with nostalgia, and I recognize that I'm filled with nostalgia. It's not as good as a lot of modern action RPGs, and if you have no nostalgia, you'll probably have a better time with like Grim Dawn or Path of Exile than Diablo 2, which makes a lot of sense. Diablo 2 is a good game, but it's also an older product with not as much content, and it's definitely not as diverse and interesting in terms of like the amount of things you can do with your characters as some more modern products. But I'm driven by nostalgia, and I really like the video game, so I'm going to keep playing it. I'm not going to lie to somebody and tell them that it's better than it is, and I'm going to do the same thing when it comes to Diablo 4. I'm nearly certain, having seen almost nothing about the video game, but having seen Blizzard go, that's a lot of billions of dollars off of Diablo Immortal, off of our shovelware, that they're going to continue to sell and make products in that same business model, and there's no reason for me to believe they'll do anything other than that with Diablo 4. Blizzard has never really, or hasn't in the past like 20 years, shown that they actually care too much about the Diablo intellectual property. So why should I believe they're going to suddenly start caring now? You know what I mean?
Just scored some easy alcorbs off Lou. He thinks I'm renouncing Strim's terrible fucking names. Jokes on him. I'm just pocketing the orbs instead of using them on maps. Easy clap. Ripbozo. Louder crisp. More like louder. Hold this big L.
Got him, dude.
Ripbozo L trim.
Got him. Oh man, that louder crisp guy gets destroyed. I like that Brian says louder crisp. Magic Arcana card has much AC as the rest of your party. Reroll your stats until a ton. Yep, that's what you can do. You can reroll until you get all 18s in Celeste. It's fun. Keep clicking the button. Reroll, reroll, reroll. All right, so I'm 24. I'm on hardcore, so I'm at the 4-level limit. Is there any 20s that I'm going to be worried about the lockout? I don't think so. I think I'm good on the lockout. Level 20s. I don't want to do any of these quests because they suck. So moving on. Let's do the high road chain. Before I do high road, I'm actually going to use the bathroom. Yeah, I don't know why they would make Diablo 4 exactly. Like, they should just stick with Diablo Immortal and kind of go from there. Or, like, make Diablo into a new franchise. Like, take Diablo and make, like, an MMO out of it or something. This is comparison to DDO. The DDO isn't even the same ballpark. Diablo Immortal, the free-to-play element. DDO is not too hard. It's more like a demo. Lets you dip. Oh, 100%. DDO is not a free-to-play game. It's a game where you have to pay a bunch of money. But you're paying for the content, and then you get the rewards from the content. Whereas in Diablo Immortal, you don't really pay for the content. You pay for the rewards. You, like, literally directly buy the items. So, like, it's kind of, you know, it's complicated. It's different in terms of the general structure. So I'm not disagreeing that, you know, DDO isn't also pay to win in the subject of, like, one, you can literally just buy stats and other things. There's things you can earn in a game, but you can just also just buy them straight up. But you buying the content, whereas in Diablo Immortal, you get the content and you're buying the rewards, where you're not going to get something 99% of the time you play, or you can pay money so you get something when you play.